Hi, today I have for you Seeing the Truth from Journey Beyond Words by Brent Haskell. Okay, greetings again. I am Jeshua. I have come this day to further with you my discussion of A Course in Miracles. One of the things you may have experienced this past week is confusion. For the first time, perhaps you have directly met the idea that truly God is in your mind. God is indeed in your mind. That is akin to what I said before, that truly you are God. Once again, everything you see, everything you experience is a creation of yourself. If God is in your mind, and if you are God, then everything you see and experience is likewise a creation of God. This must be so, for God is all that exists. There is no opposite to God. There can be no opposite to God. There can be no conflict within God. And I tell you, there can be no conflict within you. This is so because truly you are God and God is in your mind. You can imagine many things, for you do have the power to imagine. You can even imagine what seems to be conflict. You can imagine that you are upset. You can imagine that you are angry, while in truth you are not and cannot be. When you have said, above all else I want to see things differently, Lesson 28, the experience of those words is merely the realization within yourself of the truth of what I have just said. Within all that you experience is God. Within everything you see is the experience of your oneness with God. And when you see things differently, this is what you will see, and that is what you will experience. To the extent that it is not clear to you that what you experience always arises from your oneness with God, from your oneness with all things, then what you are experiencing is an illusion. That experience also must be a product of your thoughts. It therefore has no meaning. Furthermore, it doesn't even really exist. Hear me well. This statement will be made over and over again. Even that which you perceive to be yourself is an illusion. And as you hear these words, allow yourself to experience whatever you will, but allow yourself to experience something. For as we have said, A Course in Miracles is not about learning academic, abstract thought patterns. It is a course in experiencing the truth of what you are, which is the truth of what God is, which is the truth of the entire universe. And that truth shall be found not in your thinking, but in that which you experience. So as I speak to you and tell you, your thought, your concept of what you are, doesn't really exist. Allow yourself to feel something. For the feeling in back of the thoughts, in back of the words, is what touches reality. When you hear these words which suggest that your thoughts about what you are have no meaning, if you can begin to feel even a hint of peace or release or freedom, then I tell you, you have advanced 1,000 years toward experiencing the truth of what you are. If you do not feel such peace, do not be upset. You cannot fail. You cannot err in this quest. You may take side roads. You can elect diversions, but you cannot fail. Never make yourself wrong. Always accept yourself for exactly where you are, and realize that where you are lies not in your thinking, but in that which you are experiencing. One of the lessons said, "My holiness envelops everything I see." Lesson 36. You are holy because God is in your mind. Everything you experience is a product of your own holiness, of your own godliness. Such is the power given you by God. Whatever you experience is what you have chosen to experience, and nothing, not God Himself, can take that away from you. You have the power to feel and to experience anything you wish, and you are in total control of that. Just as God creates a world and beings within that world, so do we and you create worlds of our own. Your world is what you experience, what you feel. It cannot be otherwise. You are, in fact, the God of your own experience, the God of your own universe, and everything you experience is a product of your own godlikeness, your own holiness. You can even imagine that you are experiencing things which are not of truth, and which ultimately do not exist, for you have the power to imagine such, and to believe it real. Nothing can take that away from you. Such is your holiness. Such is your power as the Son of God. The other side of that is that you are totally in command of everything you feel. One of the lessons said, I could see peace instead of this. Lesson 34. Nothing could be more true. I cannot overemphasize that you in your holiness choose solely of yourself to experience whatever it is you wish. Hear me again, and hear me well. If you experience pain, it is because you have chosen it and have delighted in it. If you experience anger or frustration or grief, it is only because you, as the God of your own being, have chosen it and created it. If you choose peace, it is likewise because you have chosen it and have created it. I will say again and cannot overemphasize what causes the absence of peace, what causes you to seem to be upset, what causes the illusion of separation, is always your thoughts. And your thoughts are your reactions, your interpretations, which are based on your belief in time and space and physicalness, and which are based on your imagination that it is real. Always it is your thoughts. One of the previous lessons had said that you do not understand what anything is for. Lesson 7. Now do you see? The goal of that lesson was to allow you to open to whatever experience is present without the interpretation, without the judgment, without the confusion of your thoughts. It is then that you will find peace and freedom. Everything that you call the past, all your memories, are comprised of thought. That is why we shall often emphasize the holy instant, which is totally free of the past, free of concepts and of thoughts, free of interpretation and of wishes, free of all the things which generate your pain. Likewise, the holy instant is free of everything which creates guilt and the lack of freedom. If you are truly God, and your holiness envelops everything you see, how does it happen that you all seem to see the same world? Hear me well. You don't. There are the common things which you do seem to experience together, like the snowfall, the rain, the wind. But I tell you, even a snowflake, the rain, the wind, events which two of you seem to observe at the same time, they are truly different events for each of you. In any circumstance, you experience only and totally that which your own mind has created. The fact that two of you or more, or a city full of you, can seem to experience the common things at the same time is merely a demonstration of the fact that all minds are joined. Indeed, not joined, just joined, but one. And when you think you see a snowflake, all of humanity is part of that experience. Now hear me well again. The major purpose of this world is forgiveness. In your forgiveness you become free, and you set the world free with you. For in your reality, in your vision, in your true seeing, you will know that the snowflake, the rain, the wind, and your body itself are but illusion, and then you shall choose in your holiness not to be affected by the illusions. That is what I was demonstrating when I did things like walk upon the water. When you see a snowflake, all of humanity experiences it with you, but more importantly, when you choose not to be affected by the illusion, all of humanity is part of the freedom that you experience. So when you forgive the illusion, when you free yourself of it, you truly have become the Savior of the Son of God. As I say in this course, you are Savior. Lesson 8. And indeed your brother is Savior. He is your Savior. For in your forgiveness of him, you find your forgiveness of yourself. Remember, forgiveness is the awareness that your thoughts, your interpretations, truly do not have meaning and ultimately do not exist. This applies to any kind of behavior you choose to experience. That which you call good that which you call bad. It applies to everything experienced with what you call your body, from sickness to health to snowstorms to walking on water. When you, in your holiness, experience with true perception the realization that your brother's thoughts are in fact only thoughts and have no meaning, then you shall set him free. For your experience is part of his own, but you also free yourself, because his experience is part of yours. Your inner world and your outer world are the same. As you read often in the text, an idea, a thought that you have, cannot leave its source. Lesson 9. Anything which you create within your own consciousness becomes for you on this earth a form of thought, an idea. Those thoughts, those ideas, are the building blocks of the world you see. What seems to be out there, your outer world, cannot exist independent of the thought that gives it birth. The effect of the thought is what you seem to experience. The cause is always the idea, the thought, the experience which gave it birth. And what seems to be out there cannot exist without the thought, the idea, the experience being present within yourself, capital S self. Your thoughts, therefore, are the creators of your outside world, and are therefore the representations of your outside world. Did I get that? I'm going to go over that one more time. Your thoughts, therefore, are the creators of your outside world, and are therefore the representations of your outside world, and are therefore your outside world itself. When you see something outside, it is not outside. Nothing can be outside yourself. We will be saying, do not seek outside yourself, Lesson 10, for there is nothing there. So when you say, my holiness envelops everything I see, Lesson 36, realize that in your godliness, that which you experience, that which you think, your ideas, are the creators of what seems to be your outside world. But there exists no difference, no separation between the two. It is not possible for you to experience anything separate from the ideas, separate from the experience within your mind. And if anything you seem to experience in your outside world is not to your liking, you must look within to discover and to change it. To look outside, to believe something is outside, is to believe that what you see could be separated from the idea that gave it birth. And I tell you, that is absolutely impossible. Never look outside yourself. If you could do so, then the oneness, the unification that is God, could not exist. For it would imply that things could exist which are apart from God himself. Thus there would be within the world duality. Thus there could be within the universe conflict. And in the presence of conflict there could not be peace. But the nature of God is oneness and unity, the absence of conflict, and the absolute presence of peace. So take these ideas I express to you and allow yourself to feel what you can of their truth. Do not be overly concerned right now with what you shall feel. Just remember that the goal of this course lies in your experience and your feelings beyond the ideas and the words we use. And remember once again, with peace and great happiness, your holiness envelops everything you see. For you are the God of your own universe, and you are one with the God of all, one with me, one with all beings, one with God who created us in his likeness. Nothing can be in your life but what you have chosen, but what you have cherished, and in your knowing of that truth you will be free. Blessings upon you all. That is all.